We always say in pool, you just play the table, not your opponent. Not always easy to do that, as there's a lot of brinksmanship, gamesmanship in pool, psychological aspects. But when you're in the zone, you don't even worry about who you're playing. Now, this is Bashar Hussain.
Illegal break, control passes.
Made the one, but it's an illegal break. 3 balls have to pass the headstring, or a ball potted counts as a ball past the headstring.
Yeah, not an ideal start for Qatar, but it will afford Austria as we see this illegal break one more time. Now, this isn't a foul if you're just joining us. It just means control passes, and as you can, they really don't have any shot on the 2. They'd rather just bring Qatar in to either push or play this shot, and if they do push, Austria will have the choice of whether to accept the shot or not. That's the benefit of being on the receiving end of an illegal break.
So it will be Waleed Majid.
Push out called.
Calls a push out.
Very impressed with Waleed Majid in round 1. Ted, you had seen him play before.
Well, in the World 9-Ball Championship this year, which is the biggest singles event of the year, the one tournament all the players want to win, Waleed defeated none other than Levan Corteza and then Darren Appleton in succession, and made it all the way to the final 16, and by the skin of his teeth missed out on the quarterfinals.
Well, does Mario want to accept this shot? That facial expression doesn't tell me he really likes what he sees. If you don't like what you see and you don't have something clear-cut in your mind, be careful.
He can pot this.
Wasn't even trying. Good containing effort, that one, though, from Mario He. I don't know whether Bashar can swerve around this 7 or not. If not, he's going to have to try and kick at this from the left-hand cushion, and the degree of difficulty there increases significantly. A swerve would be much better advised if he can get around the 7. And he does only have to go over the edge of the 7. A very adept jumper of the cue ball. We saw a few shots in round 1. But he is close to it, so he's got to elevate. Get that cue ball up quick. Well, this one he will go for. It'll be Albin Ouschan at the table now for Austria. The 11th seeds come into this match after a very good performance in round 1. 7-2 they disposed of Portugal. But you just have to feel that their expectations have risen a little. Especially, and we interviewed them after. They just assumed they were going to be playing Chinese Taipei.
Can't assume anything in this tournament. It's just a race to 7 and winner breaks. We assumed in that last match, we were sure actually, Jim, that Poland was going to put up a stern test for Finland, and it wasn't even close.
No, but I think Mika Iminen's words were prophetic in just saying the Philippines, they can find another gear when they need to, and they know they need to against Finland.
This is Mario He. Oh, he leaves the 5 in the jaws, and that was because you know, he makes that a million out of a million times if he's just shooting that shot, but he needed position for the green 6, and that's why he had to hammer it.
It was all the pace that kept that out of the pocket, nothing else. Slower, that ball drops. But again, when you've got to hit a ball at speed, you got to be more accurate. Nice shot from Waleed there. And just punch this in with a little bit of backspin. And Qatar in prime position to snatch this opening rack now.
Very confident. Bashar Hussein's been around for many years, so he's a seasoned pro, and Waleed here is a rising star on the world scene. 1-0 in favor of Qatar, and they will be breaking in rack number 2. So it has to be feeling pretty good for Qatar. That wasn't an easy rack, and they came through that safety exchange. On the upside, there's the 9 ball. And we'd like to make a special shout out to all our friends in Qatar, and especially everybody at the Qatar Billiards and Snooker Federation, and who do so much for pool. That's really led a renaissance of this game in the Middle East. And you'd be surprised if you hadn't been there. There's Qatar, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, so many countries, UAE, rising up and producing great players in pool. And this is what happens when you invest in the game.
Well, they've been sending Q-Sport coaches to that part of the world for a few years now, and this is what it's producing. Rack number 2, and this is a legal break and a successful one. A shot at the 1. Going to be a little tricky getting from the 1 to the 2 here, but they've got control of the table. It's going to take a very good shot to get across the other side of the table. He's going to have to spin this. A lot of top spin, right hand into the cue ball, and get that white over to the other side. Oh, he had no spin. He had no right hand spin on the cue ball. He hit it hard enough and straight enough. Now only defense for Waleed. If anything, he checked it instead of playing the right hand spin.
He didn't hesitate with that safety.
Yeah, and judged it perfectly. And because it's landed right on top of the 9, that's going to make the kick shot considerably more difficult. He's going to have to go at this off the side cushion as opposed to the bottom cushion, which would have been easier.
Extension call.
Yeah, I don't blame Albin for taking the extension here. And another aspect that Albin has to be concerned with is with the 2 on the 9. Good chance the cue ball and the 2 are going to stay in the same area of the table even if he does hit it. So he needs that little element of luck.
Oh, 9 very nearly went, but he scratched.
Foul shot. Ball in hand.
Ah.
Start the clock.
Well, this is starting to take ominous turns as far as Austria is concerned. That was a good hit from Albin.
Look at this. Ball in hand, looking at the 2-9 combination for the quick out. Got it.
And 2-0 confirmed here in Portsmouth, Qatar. They've accounted for the number 6 seed already, and now they're eyeing up the number 11 seeded Austria.
So it all started with the safety from Waleed Majid. You know, Jim, they bring in coaches in Qatar from around the world, Filipino coaches like Antonio Gabica. They bring in some coaches from Chinese Taipei, and that's how they have done it over the years. And they have regular training sessions at the federation, and that's how you do it in pool, in any sport.
Obvious concern in the Austria camp. Mario and Albin. This is not the way they wanted to start this last 16 match out.
Albin has a tendency to get down on himself sometimes, but I can tell you he's as
Hard to break, leading 2 racks to 0.
as good a grinder as you'll see in the sport. He just lurks about and waits for his opportunity. Now, that's in singles play. Let's see how they hold up under the pressure of doubles play here. 1 ball down, 1 across the head string, and
Control passes.
nothing else.
Yeah, and a chance at the 2 it looks like, but the 3 looks to be in jail. So we see again another illegal break. Tough to really gain any momentum. You've just got to take every rack one at a time. But there's no combinations on offer here. This 2 will pass to the bottom right corner, but you can see the 3 just below the 2 and the 9 on the left-hand side. Could be nothing but safety on offer for the 3. Oh, what a shot. What a shot. I said safety on offer. Well, now he's got a choice, because this 3 is available where he's dropped with the cue ball. He could play this up in the corner pocket. And where the 4 is, out in the middle of the table, top right, half a chance to drop on it here. This is a tricky shot. This is just, how do you feel? Safety would be easy. And it looks like he's going to go at this. Love that approach, Ted. You don't back your way into titles. You go in through the front door, and Albin Ouschan knows that. And he's left his partner perfectly positioned now to swing the cue ball around the angles and back down for the 5. Just wants a little bit of angle here. And that looks perfect. Be able to play the 6 up into the top left corner, and again, he'll just require a little bit of angle because he's got to get the cue ball over to the right-hand side of the table for the 7 next. So just follow through and make sure you leave angle on that 6 to the top left. He doesn't like it. As soon as he hit it, you heard him. Not happy, not near enough angle, so that just means Mario's going to have to thump this one in with authority.
They really need this rack because it's only a race to 7. And there's been 2 glaring errors from Austria in the first 2 racks.
How sweet did he hit that?
Boy, solid.
Well, 2 choices here for Albin. He can play the 7 to the bottom right corner and play the 8 to the same corner, just miss contacting the 9, or play it with a bit of speed and go off 2 side cushions and play the 8 bottom left. His choice.
So it looks like they'll finally get on the board. As I said, I'm not really worried about Austria getting blown out because these 2 will hang around. They're just wait for their moment. Grinders, we call them.
And what looked like a very tricky situation when Austria came to the table, they convert into a rack win and secure their first rack of the match. It's a race to 7, still 2-1 to Qatar. certainly want the best seat in the house to take it all in.
That's interesting. The one ball banked into the corner. That's a legal break. So nice break off for Mario He.
It's the second rack in a row as we see Mario's break once again, and he does thump him. So that 2 has stayed very close to the 9. It was brought there in the last rack, but it's funny how it's ended up there again. Or the rack prior to the last one, I guess it was, when Albin had tried to kick at it. But it doesn't pass to the corner. Got to be careful with this. Don't want to overhit it. Oh, he's wedged, used the 8 to hold the 2. Very well thought out. Wedged that cue ball to the 9. He's taken the easy escape route away, and now he's got to go across table. Better chance of making the 2 going this way for Waleed, but tougher to judge.
Great chance now for Austria. Only issue, Jim, really is that 7 and 8 cluster at the bottom of the table.
Yeah, it's tough to tell if the 7's available. I mean, they're going to have a look at it. Actually, Albin is already looking at it. But the 6, the good news is the 6 is so close to the 7. If it needs to be developed, Ted, you know, there's so many areas you can take the cue ball to try and just nudge that 7 into a more potable position. And again, that would be assuming it doesn't go, which it might. Gotta love the way these two guys discuss things, though.
Yeah, they both have a more deliberate pace than some of the other teams we've seen. There's a 30-second shot clock, of course, with 1 extension per rack per team. So maybe the 7 goes. That's the thing we can't really tell from here.
Ted, we're going to know real soon, because if the 7 doesn't go, he's going to lay the cue ball in behind it.
Looks like it's really close because of the way they're looking at it.
Yeah, it doesn't. He's laying the cue ball in behind it. So that wasn't the best of shots from Mario. But the cue ball in hand.
Wow. That is putting your opponent in jail.
Yeah, vital that he
jail.
Yeah, vital that he hits this.
Oh, excellent effort.
Oh,
and look at this. Wow. Impressive.
Not the most difficult of replies, though, for Austria, but you know that Qatar is happy with that result. But just a thin clip on the 6, and they know that 6 isn't going to be moving much, so just put some distance, take that cue ball back up where he's standing. So they were always going to keep Qatar fighting from the back end in this rack. They've got the initiative. It's just a matter of whether Qatar can come with a good kick shot here and turn the tables. And by a kick shot, it's getting out of this snooker, or hook as they say in America. He's going to be playing this off 2 cushions. He'd like to try and catch the second rail just in behind the 6. Bump it up table in an ideal world. keep the cue ball close to where the 6 is, or even slither in behind the 7. No, he's caught it on the other side, so he's left it. But again, Austria, the beneficiary of some very good safety play, really, Ted.
That's right. You just hang in there. As I mentioned, Austria, a pair of grinders. They going to be difficult to outlast this team.
So just a good shot here. He's got plenty of angle on the 6. It's not straightforward. The natural path for the cue ball will come down for the 7. So it's all about the speed with which you play the shot. He's got to clear the 9. Just. And that was Mario's uncle that applauded in the crowd. That was a good shot. And that deserved a lot more applause than it got.
So I think we can fairly say that Austria has gotten the cue arms loose. They're in the groove now. There's nothing like winning a few safety exchanges to get you loose into the heart of the match.
Well, it is a match. Got a pulse now, 2-2. Austria has just taken the last 2 racks. In your words, Ted, they've ground them out.
Sometimes you just have to be patient in pool. Wait for the balls to roll your way. Just keep executing proper safeties.
And either side fully capable of rolling a few racks together, but the way the table's breaking, you've got to put your hard hat on and come to work today.
Just a race to 7. Winner break, so Austria will be back up to the table. Albin Ouschan, a runner-up in this year's World 9-Ball Championship, which happened to take place in
5, Austria to break, 2-2.
In Doha, Qatar.
And what a pool-playing family Albin comes from. His sister, Jasmine Ouschan, one of the very best female players in the world.
Look out for the cue ball.
Albin, in fact, won the European Junior Championship, would you believe it, at the age of 11. What was he doing playing pool at 11 years of age?
Well, they were playing since they were small kids in the Ouschan household. They had one of those tiny little tables with the little pool balls on it. And as they got bigger, parents bought them bigger tables.
I was still in the sandbox when I was 11. Well, the only aggressive option here, and Mario's eyeing it up, the 2-7 combination. I don't think that 2 passes the 7 into the corner. This is tricky.
Tension cold.
And it'll carry the fate of the rack with it. Because if he misses this, if he goes for the 2-7 and misses it, he's almost guaranteed to leave the 2. Oh, what a shot. What a shot from Mario He there. What a player. Won the European 10 ball in 2012, Mario He. And what would the World Cup of Pool title look like on his resume?
They're very capable of winning this tournament. We talked about them being a dark horse before this event. Certainly not one of the favorites up there with your Hollands and Philippines and Germany. But But they can do it. They have the talent.
This has been a terrific response from Austria, it has to be said. No, losing the first 2 racks in this match, and they know that Qatar comes in here with no pressure. No, decided underdogs.
This is as easy as it gets right here, and a great effort. 3 in a row from Austria, but they were down 2-0. They didn't flinch, Jim. A lot of self-belief from these two players.
Yeah, and they obviously have a lot of confidence in each other. Their actions and the way they go about their business around the table really does speak volumes. And being pals off the table doesn't hurt. We've talked about that. You know, the likes of Holland this year, second seeds, you know, very, very good friends. Niels and Nick Vandenberg, very good pals. And, you know, it just alleviates all the pressure.
Yeah, because players can get frustrated with their partner.
Rack 6, Austria to break, leading 3 racks to 2.
Especially when things don't go your way over the course of several racks and you're under the pressure and these TV lights. And if your partner doesn't leave it in the right position, it's very easy to see dissension creep in. So the 1 ball is down. That's an
Illegal break.
illegal break. With a shot on the blue too. But still work to do in this rack.
Yeah, a real tough shot here, and not sure if the 3 is available, even if Qatar could get this 2. That would be the red 3 at the bottom of your picture, just next to the 8. Yeah, obviously discretion, the better part of valor here. And he's bumped the 3 into the open now, so a sense of urgency now with regards to this hit from Austria.
So you figured that shot, that they could have gone for that.
He could have cut that in, but I don't think he could get position to the 3, and I'm not even sure it was available. But this is a very good containing shot, and it's put the pressure right back on Austria's shoulders. Because now the 3's in the open.
He's going for his jump cue. Well, this could end up in anywhere on the table.
Oh, he was jumping into the kick. What a shot.
Well, you don't see that very often, Jim.
Had to use the jump cue just to get over the edge of the 4 to get at it. What a shot from Albin Ouschan there.
Yeah, very creative.
Deserved a better fate, really. He's left this 2 on. All about position. There's a small window between the 6 and the 8 to drop on the 3. I don't know whether or not Waleed is comfortable enough to try and drop there. He really does have that seesaw motion though, doesn't he? And he's done it. That's a terrific effort. You had to check the cue ball, avoid contacting the 7, and look at the result.
Boy, nice shot from Bashar Hussain.
4 in the corner, 5 hanging near the side pocket. Hard work's been done. That first shot from Waleed, that was the key shot of this rack, even after a great escape from Albin Ouschan.
This is quite a response from Qatar. They led this match 2-0. Austria got in the groove, won 3 in a row. And now Qatar looking to tie.
Mistakes have been at a premium in this match. Top class.
So Bashar Hussain, this 9 to tie.
Nothing to choose from between these two countries. 6 racks in the books, 3 apiece. Action from the World Cup of Pool will continue following the break. Yes, it's going to be a great day here in Portsmouth. It's a legal break.
But nothing down.
And that's where the happy stories end. But he hasn't left anything on the one, so I think Austria is just going to be pushing out here. Now Albin's looking. He's looking at a possible kick. There's no way he's going to kick at this. Fraught with danger. And everything's in the open.
So with everything in the open, where do you, and the one by the pocket, where do you push to?
He's just got to push down the left-hand cushion. I mean, there's just no way that you could even think of trying to kick at this. That might have just been playing a little poker with Qatar. I mean, he's looking at possibly going cushion, but then he's got to hit the right-hand half of that one, and you're going to leave a very easy reply for Qatar.
Extension call. Push out call.
So the only danger here is you don't want to push to where it's even trickier than it is now. I might just push near the side pocket, near the rail. He's not a bad idea. Pushing the 2 behind the 3, or the 8 behind the 3, sorry, and just locking up the 3. But the only problem is he's left a 3-8 combination.
And
so,
this one is definitely on.
Yeah, but position to the 2,
Near
that's a
impossible.
different story. Unless he hits the 6 coming back out. And he missed the 6, but what a shot! What a shot from Bashar there! Well, I guarantee you, after seeing this again, I guarantee you that Austria wishes they would have taken a different path with that push out now. What a shot.
I mean, originally when you were talking about bringing it down the rail, you would not have left them a shot on.
Not at all.
This is not an easy shot.
No, but it's available. Second prize.
Yeah.
But you know what? That was the intention of Austria, to tie up the 3. They just didn't want to leave the combination. I think Qatar can count themselves lucky after missing that they didn't leave Austria anything easy. It's a simple kick, and if he hits this flush, every chance to leave that cue ball behind the 9. Knock the 3 up table. I don't like him jumping here.
Jump cue.
Yeah, I don't like it. Well, he's done. I don't like it. I like it now. The Filipinos would have kicked at that in a heartbeat and knocked it up table. I mean, he's done exactly what he would have wanted to do, kicking it.
It's a good example of how these days, with these jump cues, the high-tech jump cues, I mean, he actually stopped the cue ball after jumping it. It's amazing.
Well, he basically took me back to school with regards to his ability with a jump cue. And he's bought Austria ball in hand.
Wow.
Stop the clock.
We're all taken back to school. You'd normally think of a jump shot as something where you really don't know where the cue ball or the object ball is going to end up. He parked the cue ball behind the 9 and led to that ball in hand. This is some really clever 9 ball here.
What a touch. What a touch from the big man. Nice angle here on the 6. Just bump it off the cushion. Anything close to straight on the 7 will work just nicely.
And they're about to close the door on this rack. That's how you do it. It is a mind game. Outfox your opponent, and certainly Qatar was outfoxed in that rack.
Well, it was one terrific shot from Mario He. That bought the opportunity for Austria, and they capitalize. Back in front, 4-3. Still trying to keep the upstart team from Qatar in their chairs.
Amazing control on this jump shot, how he was able to park the cue ball behind the 9. And don't forget the push out as well, which led to the 3-8 combination, which wasn't easy.
Yeah, that really was tremendous shot. And you had such a small area of space to try and hold this cue ball. Let's have another look at it. Got a couple feet, and he's got to hit it flush, and the speed that he played the shot. Everything had to be perfect on that. He knew what he was doing.
Albin Ouschan now with a chance for Austria to get a 2-rack lead. Legal break. Well, they'll be looking at the 2. It's not an open shot to a pocket.
No, the 2 will be safety only, Ted. 2 balls into the same pocket. And there's no aggressive options here whatsoever. Wouldn't even surprise me to see a push out here. Just roll the cue ball maybe even a little closer to the 2, or lock a couple balls up again. Because the safety's not easy here, and yet there's no way they want to try and throw caution to the wind at this stage. They've just taken the lead again.
It's a real open table.
Attention call.
So yeah, the safeties could go awry easily here.
Trust me, they're thinking about where to push, because it's a tough safety from here. And whichever path you select, you're knocking that 2 towards a corner pocket. Got to be careful.
Oh, that worked out great.
Couldn't have played that any better, really. He knew he had to use the 6 and the 3. And he also knew that cue ball was going to be tracking off 2 cushions towards that corner pocket.
Trying to get distance. I'd rather have it slow down. And that is on.
Well, the way that he played that was kind of a hit him and hope. And then again, looks like the natural angle. He just wants to bring the cue ball back down towards the middle of the table, just off the 2 cushions. Oh.
No way. How does that not go?
Well, I don't think he can believe he missed it. I certainly can't.
You get the feeling it could drop any second. Look at that.
Too thick. He just caught it too thick. Didn't get the cue ball where he needed to. But this isn't easy. Getting back to the middle of the table. There you go. I guarantee you this wasn't the intended pocket for the 3.
Well played.
Yeah, would like to have been just a little straighter, I think. Ted, that just means Waleed is going to have to feather this in and try and keep the cue ball in that half of the table. So just a slow drag shot, maybe even played with a trace of left-hand spin as he looks. Very slow.
So off the miss 2. Albin Ouschan.
That's the story of this rack for sure. Misses have been few and far apart in this match.
Yes, it's a great match so far. Back and forth affair. A lot of really interesting safeties. Both teams putting in really high quality performances. Jim, I'm impressed with both these teams.
Well, Qatar started out going 2-0 in front, and they were pegged back. Now it's their turn to peg back. Austria 4-4. Mistake from Albin Ouschan there. It was a crucial one. Here it is again.
Yeah, he makes that 2. This rack goes to Austria. They're up 5-3. Now we're tied at 4. Yeah, it's a bit of a headache, isn't it?
Yeah, you got to put that miss out of your mind. This is still anybody's match.
So Bashar Hussain had a illegal break the last time he broke.
Rack 9, Qatar to break, 4-4.
So the plan is 1 ball on the side. Hopefully make 1 other ball and get another ball by the head string, avoid that illegal break. There's, okay. It's definitely a legal break. And a shot on the 2. Wow, what a terrific break shot from Bashar Hussain. He'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, he'd like to have a few more of these in this match. A nice open look at the 2. Looks like the 4 will go by the 6 into the corner pocket, so doesn't have to do anything special with the white.
I think we should point out, if you're just tuning in, that only the 1 and the 9 ball are in a set position. The 1 at the top of the rack, the 9 in the middle. All other balls are randomly racked. So there's no patterns that they can figure out. They do know that the 1 will always track to the side pocket when you break from the side. So you'll always see the players breaking from either rail, whichever one they're comfortable with. What a chance here now, Jim. This is a team that doesn't know the word quit.
Extension call.
Well, certainly expectations rose after they beat Chinese Taipei 7-5. And they're looking to get into the quarterfinals here and ensure a spot against either China or England B.
Still under the radar, but they do cover it in the paper, so they will get out.
Nice speed. 5-4 assured for Qatar. The race to 7. They've just become the favorites, leading Austria by that 1 odd rack. You won't want to miss the conclusion of this one.
Rack with 3 balls down for Bashar Hussain now. Waleed going over to the other side of the table, obviously more comfortable here. He's going to go for that 1 ball on the side. There it is. Oh, the 9 was tracking, Jim.
I'll tell you, this is close. He's made the 1 and the 2 in the same pocket. Watch the 9. Oh, almost into the same pocket as the 1 and the 2, but if the 3 goes by the 5 here, he's perfect, and I believe it does. And just trying to set up the 4-6 combination. Got to be a little careful here. Just where the 4 is going to go.
That was well played. Well, that's a shot that he would have played countless times and on the practice table. So he knew that the 4 would end up going into the left corner pocket. But nonetheless, excellent execution.
Yeah, just gathering his concentration here, because every chance to secure this rack and get to the hill. You just want to try and guard against any unforced errors. Just a little bit of adrenaline in that back arm from Bashar there. Just slightly overhit.
You may not notice that the 8 ball's in the side pockets, right in the jaw. It's a little hard to see.
That was the danger. You know, if he'd have been a little straighter on that and he wouldn't have had to force it to get across the table, so much easier. Sometimes the smallest of mistakes can be magnified with the next shot. Still, he knows he should never have missed that. Waleed will be kicking himself. What a chance they had to really put Austria under the cush here.
will be Mario He. Pressure's really on now, Austria.
Nice little shot. He had to just draw that to avoid contacting the 9. Danger of the in-off into the corner. Now just make this with the 8 dangling over the precipice of the other side. Wow. Would Waleed ever love to have that ball over again?
We're going to be tied. It'll be a race to 2 to see who moves on to the quarterfinals here at the World Cup of Pool. Austria 5, Qatar 5. Jim, we called this. It's going to be tight. It's a pick-em match.
Yeah, I didn't expect we'd start seeing a couple misses, the nature of which we've seen. The one from Albin cost them a rack, and that last one from Waleed, he still remembers it. Those are the type of shots, you know, these players, they really answer only to themselves. And you know, win or lose, he'll be thinking about that shot for a while.
And as you said, he was forced to hit it at that pace because the position was just slightly off. And he needed to get back for the 6 ball. Or rather, the 7 ball. And there it is. There's the miss. His pockets are so tight.
4 1/4 inches from point to point. And again, at speed, the longer this tournament goes on, the tougher this table will play. And it's a little damp out there today, so that tightens things up a bit too.
3 balls down already. And a shot on the 2. Not an easy shot, but a good break for Mario He. That will keep Austria at the table. Closer we get to the finish line, the more questions we have. How will this one end up? It is really anybody's game.
He's looking at cutting this right down the cushion. Gutsy is the only way to describe this.
Well, he's fearless. He can pull this off. But he does not. Oh, wow. What a chance here for Qatar.
He knew that there were risks in this one, and he also knew it was far from easy.
No risk, no reward.
Finalist in this year's World 9-Ball Championship, and the young man from Austria, as great a performer as Albin is, you know his best is still to come.
Now, Bashar had to add a extension onto his cue stick to reach this. Shot. What a chance for Qatar to pull another upset. Of course, we said that this was pretty much a 50-50 match. I can understand why the odds makers would put Austria slightly favored. But if you really know the professional side of this game, look out. Oh, no. Jim, what happened?
Got to cut this into the bottom corner. It goes by the 9, but again, he's got to run around the table with the cue ball. A poor positional effort from Waleed. And Bashar, well, he's going to try and snick it. Is he trying to cut this in, or is he trying to duck behind the 9?
Looks like he's trying to. I thought he was going to cut it, but I don't think so.
Well, it doesn't go into the corner. It will cut into the side pocket. They have to be sick allowing Austria out of their chairs because everything was in the open here. If he can see enough to cut this into the side, the right-hand side pocket, that's what he's got to try and do. That shot's got to be a lot easier than looking at the long combination.
Extension
4
call.
onto the 6. Yeah, you just can't look at that. He's got to try and cut this into the side. Must.
What an effort.
That one is also going to hurt Qatar. This one was there. It was there for the taking. A good pot. That one from Mario He. How easy is it going to be for Albin to miss or to forget that miss on the 2?
I think Waleed is just sick because it was really his doing that they lost the rack. He had a wide open table and just left awful position for his partner, Bashar Hussain. And then perhaps not the best of decisions by Bashar there, leaving that subsequent shot open.
You know, you just wonder if the confidence took a little dig after missing that 5. He was shaking his head for a good rack afterwards.
Yeah, that was in rack 10. Austria got that rack, but in rack 11, the miss on the 2 by Albin, you would have thought it looked like Qatar was going to just waltz to the hill.
Rack 12, Austria to break, leading 6 racks to 5.
Could have been the turning point though, Ted. Time will tell. Albin, Ouschan, and Austria. Rack number 12 of a possible 13 for a place in the quarters.
Well, that is going to be ideal. Wow.
Done.
Two guys not with pretty much zero personality. Kidding me?
Yeah, this one's over. Everything in the open.
That's what we call a layup.
You can either slow roll this into the side, you can play this into the corner.
Extension call.
Well, they've used their extension now, so there'll be no more discussions of any length from this point on.
Well, they've got the roadmap all the way to the 9.
Yeah, again, that's not the best shot from Albin, though. I thought he'd play it in the corner and purposely stay low on this. He hasn't left Mario very much angle. No, and you've got to play shots at that kind of speed. Now, what really should have been easy has now become a bit awkward.
Yeah, this shot's no guarantee, is it? Yeah, especially with a spot in the quarterfinals on the line.
Good recovery. Very good recovery. Had to get below the 8. And again, there's Mario's uncle applauding out there. That was a terrific shot, and Waleed is feeling the pain.
Waleed's on his way to the U.S. Open in the States, and he's going to be thinking about that positional error on the long flight across the Atlantic. He gets the right position. This could be Qatar right here with 2 balls left, but instead it is Austria motoring towards the quarterfinals.
And they look strong.
And the winner of this match will play the winner of China and England B.
So Austria secure their place in the quarterfinals. The handshake. And a very disappointed team from Qatar. But it was a great performance from Austria, and they join the Philippines, Finland, and the Americans in the last 8. Up next, last year's runner-up Holland